Dude, how you been?
I don't know. I had too much coffee. I feel like
You're a coffee guy?
I'm becoming one. Yeah, I'm cyclical with the coffee. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I think it may be seasonal, and I'm not quite adjusted to it. You know what I mean? I feel like I snorted Nicolas Cage. Guess what, man?
What's up?
It's been a while since you've been in comedy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You're just getting back to it. You know, and the comedy world is like fast forward compared to regular life.
Yeah.
And I don't think you know what you're doing anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I truly do. I think that is true, actually.
I haven't seen you on stage.
Yeah, I've done probably since he's been born. I've probably done like maybe 12 sets, 10
And
12.
how much podcasting have you done?
This is my second episode.
Second fucking episode.
Yeah, dude, this is my second episode, and guess what?
I know what.
What do you know?
I know that it cost a lot for my fucking sweater to be here, and you've only done it 2 fucking times.
Yeah,
This
you're
is
right.
bullshit.
That's a good sweater. What does that sweater mean? Is that like a?
It means I'm on a podcast that doesn't deserve me.
Oh my
Motherfucker.
God! I like the.
Who is this? Who's your editor? This is a different editor person.
It's This is an Asian lady. Her name is Allie.
That's fucked up right
Yeah.
there. You're
We're just trying to make sure that we're
That's
covering
not
all of our bases.
editing person name though.
Allie.
Yeah, it's not about the equality anymore. Podcasts are about combat. It's not camaraderie between comics anymore. It's fucking
combat.
It's war.
So
now.
who we going? So I have to go after someone's neck.
Well, I'm going after her right now.
All right, yeah.
She's
Allie.
fucking- no. Your name is Harold
Harold.
Weinberger-Steen. That's how the fuck you
Harold
You
Weinberger-Steen.
need fucking, those people in your corner.
Motherfucking Harold. Fucking Weinberger-Steen.
Harold, zoom in on me. Zoom off on him. Watch this Kool-Aid, bitch. They ain't had no Kool-Aid in here. Is this weed?
This is, if you want it.
We'll get to that. What's
Yeah.
your question? No. Also, no surface shit. Let's get to it. Down to what do you
No
call
surface
it?
shit.
Brass tacks.
He, just like America, get straight down to the oil, dude. Don't fucking worry about any of this. No one
Yeah.
cares about the plants, the
No,
trees.
nigga. Fracking.
Yeah.
Let's frack
Let's
it
fucking put pipes in the ground
out. Yeah.
and get it down.
Yes.
You've been moving around a lot
Yes.
recently.
Yes.
New York,
Yes.
Columbus.
Yes. Suicide prevention, military shows, military bases.
Are you a part of the CIA for that? They hire you to.
Nah, they've been actually very gracious. Now, this is not funny, but it's
Okay.
probably needed in this time. Like, the new don't ask, don't tell in military is don't say if you're a
Feeling it?
Democrat.
Yeah.
Democrats, shut the fuck up in that place. About 5 shows ago, I did like 6 in a week. The first one of that week was right after the assassination. And these people, look at me like I'm an inherent Democrat, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the freedom of speech, that first show was unchartered. Unbridled, maybe is a better word. It was 2 black guys, 2 white people, or white man, white woman. And you know how we do jokes about each other. And sometimes you'll come to me with like, I got this thing, but I can't say it. I'm a white guy. We were saying all the things. All the things. I don't remember what they were exactly because, talking about my kids' suicide and stuff like that kind of drains me. And but in the back and forth moderation while we're asking each other questions, and we're all comics, we're punching this stuff up. It was beautiful. Some people, it's controversial. Maybe some people will be like, oh, a white guy shouldn't be making a joke like, oh, I didn't even know you knew your dad. And it wasn't corny or hack like that.
Yeah.
But we were shooting shots from both sides of the aisle, both sides of the fence, the railroad tracks. And that type of conversation I've never seen had, especially in that setting. This was not a comedy club. We're doing shows in airplane hangars.
VFWs, shit like that.
Crazy stuff, right? So like,
and it was received well? It was received well?
Oh yeah, man, crying. Man,
Damn.
I'm getting messages from people that normally would not talk to me in public, right?
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily just because I'm black, but I do also have like an aggressive face.
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah.
Like,
You do definitely have like a little boogie, type of face.
I
You
could
don't want to
rob you with my snarl.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, it was great.
Wears fur coats in the summer and wife beaters in the winter.
That's what my face is.
West Side Boogie, isn't that one of the guys that Eminem like kind of helped bring up? Whatever, he has that song. I've been thugging through my rainy days.
Can you hear me, Harold? Yeah. Okay. Shut the fuck up. Get back to the brass tacks.
Dude, so these shows, you've been doing them all over. What made you try to focus on? Was it just like your life experience that made you like, I'm gonna kind of like head this route? Like, was it your goal? I guess what I'm saying is like to like kind of like, you know.
No, it wasn't my goal to get into that, but it wasn't my goal for my life experience to be my life experience.
Yeah.
Either. And you know, I talk about absolutely everything on stage, and when people started to know me for some of the life experiences that I expounded upon, someone said, hey man, you got to do this, and they introduced me to this guy. Shout out to 1 Degree Separation and Brad, and they were like, yeah, come do it, you know, and it's been fulfilling for other people.
Yeah.
And it drains me, but it's much.
Well, I mean, I got to assume there's got to be a lot of like value, you know, because a lot of people have probably dealt with like either losing a child, almost losing themselves, you know what I mean? And a lot of times, because like, you know, especially as a man, you know, like you were talking about like military and everything, but it's like, especially as a man, it's, you know, having emotions is like a hard thing.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
That's
and
one
like,
of the things I talked about.
And like talking, you know, because you have like two modes, you know what I mean? Because like there's the healthy mode, which is like, you know, talk about the stuff that matters and like kind of like shut up about your anxieties and stuff like that, you know, kind of like work through that stuff. But you know, then you have those people who are like everything on the table, you know what I mean? Like, I won't stop talking about it. And then you got people who don't at all and stuff like that. And I feel like I've been.
So what's the question?
My question is that like when you're going into these things, like, was it hard to like do comedy, or was it, or what, like, did you have to like pivot at all, or you know, is it harder?
No, okay. So context: the comedy portion of that suicide prevention show is just 5 minutes clean up top in the beginning of the show. It's 9 in the morning. Most of these shows 11.
Damn.
You know what I mean? It's, you know, the lights are on, so it's not like
getting the breakfast crowd.
Yeah,
dude.
so it's not like what
Nice.
we're used to. Like we're jumping, like we're in the club trying to like work out things that are that pertain to the actual life experiences. It's just.
What percentage of your shows would you say those are now? Like of your
That
like your dais or whatever.
Nah, not much. Like
No.
I get a run of those like every other month.
You doing like morning and night shows those days too, or you just sticking to the morning ones?
It's a wrap.
This is too heavy.
It's a wrap, but mostly because it's a military base out in the middle of nowhere. So the one was just talking about was Volk Field, Wisconsin. So I would have had to drive 2 hours to hit like an open mic or something.
Oh, wow.
In maybe Madison, Wisconsin or something like that.
Fuck.
So I wasn't going to do that.
And you've been doing this for 5 years now, 6 years?
I make 6 years, maybe in a few weeks.
Dude, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
It's exciting. Yeah. It's definitely, you know, I've definitely seen people who like have like come and gone. I feel like for the most part, like, you know, minus like some of the stuff that's happened, you know, you've been pretty consistent.
Yeah,
like,
never stopped.
Yeah. Even like when shit was hard, you were still out there. You might have not been going up on stage exactly, but you were still hanging out. And I think that's important too, kind of just being around friends and whatnot.
You think when she passed, I didn't go up like that? Is
Did
that
you?
What you're talking about?
Or at least I didn't see you go up a lot. I just saw you come out and be out.
I was in the bed for like 7 weeks.
Damn.
But
Yeah.
but when I came out, it was to do stand up, and nobody really even knew. I don't know how long it took me to tell you.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, I didn't see you for a while. I mean,
It was almost 2 months.
But so you said you were doing one of these shows when the assassination happened.
Yeah, it was the assassination Wednesday.
What time did that happen? Because like I actually wasn't paying. I like didn't know about it until after it had happened. So it was like early in the morning, or like
If
afternoon.
I answer that question, will you have something relevant to the time?
Yeah,
11 o'clock.
11 o'clock.
I don't know what time it was, but why?
I was just wondering. If,
Bullshit. That's what I'm saying. Man.
Were you on
Harold,
stage? Were you
back.
on stage? Were you on stage and they were like, "Oh my God,
Oh no,
Charlie Kirk was shot,"
no.
or were you like?
It was the daytime. You saw it was a daytime.
Yeah.
It was a daytime.
Yeah.
And then we went up that. We had it was an open mic that night at the Attic Wednesday, and we'll talk about the Attic.
Dude, open mics right after a tragedy.
Do you remember the insurrection? What?
The insurrection?
When
Kinda. Yeah, or like, yeah, I remember when it happened. Yeah,
that was back in the Shrunken Head days. Harold, Shrunken Head days refers to the best open mic we had in Columbus, Ohio.
It was like a
back
bar
in the day.
open mic in the middle of Neal and whatever. It was
very
awesome.
busy street. A lot of walk-in traffic, and it was early in the week that day too, maybe a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and when the insurrection January 6th happened, we went up. I don't know if you were there or not. Shrunken Head was lit that day. There was a lot of people in there especially early. Fridays was our good day. These people came. Everybody goes up. I remember Joel Good. That was one of his first, as far as I know, Joel Good. Shout out to Joel Good. One of his early sets was really like perfect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was our like Greer Barnes of that time. He had this perfect set, and we didn't care to hear it every time. It was just that good. And he went up and bombed with it. And that's when I realized these people want to hear about politics. That's the first time I realized that the societal tension that we have, the political tension that we have as a people, bleeds into the comedy club. And sometimes people come there to get that tension broken.
Yeah.
And so, I went up and I acted like I was one of the insurrectionists, and I started climbing the stool like I was scaling the walls at the whatever house that was. But that's when I learned that. And so when I went up about that night when Charlie died, I was like, I got to talk about this, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
It worked. You're laughing at me, not with me. See?
No.
That's a little you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like this is.
I get it.
So you're getting the combat part of it, right?
Listen.
But I'm the guest.
Listen.
So Wednesday, Thursday. No, you listen. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday was all fucked up.
Yeah.
And then Saturday, I went to Volk Field, Wisconsin Sunday, and that's when. Well, it was suicide prevention. So there was love in that room, even though it was comedy, too. And nobody was talking about Mr. Kirk. But I think that last night was like the first time I've seen an audience finally sort of breathe.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on, railroad tracks you're on. That was a horrible thing to happen.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes when I go and I'm like listening, I like to like hear like people's like, I like to hear the silly takes.
Also, fuck each side.
Yeah, fuck each side. Because it's like they're both working together. I don't know if you've looked into anything pertaining
to conspiracy theory. I can't even look at
Dude, it's like it's so fucking wild. And like nowadays it's like
the bullet was a frog.
Dude. Alex Jones was hiding in the grassy knoll, and he's like, the frogs are gay, and he died. It was crazy. No, but like there's just like conspiracy, like, based on him, but then like on top of that, but then like who is running everything? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's like the thing that I am like, I don't like necessarily like care to know, I want to know like how far does it go up? Because it's like definitely a pyramid type scheme, like as you can see.
There you go.
And it's like the White House is like somewhere in the middle. It's not at the top, but it's like, it's probably upper middle.
The White House is a tool for the very top of the pyramid. That's it. It's just an apparatus to control the rest of the pyramid.
What are those people doing?
What are the people at the top doing?
Yeah. Like what does their lifestyle look like? Like, you know what I mean?
Something you can never fathom. Something you can never fathom. We are right around the corner from a neighborhood when I was young. I was the only guy in there with $250,000. I was 23 years old, selling whatever. I was, past the statute.
He was a businessman.
It's past you the statute of limitations now, right? But that little bit, dropping a bucket of money, nothing really, changed people around me. Which made me had to alter myself, right? And then I saw people who were getting money with me become different people too, in a bad way. These people talk about Christianity so much. That scripture, it took me most of my life to understand that it's easier for a camel to pass through an eye of a needle for a rich person to get into heaven. That money is crazy. That it will change you. And so, like, you talking about somebody who's not only a billionaire, multi-billionaire, will never be broke. I'm talking about these people's great-great-great-grandfathers were in the same situation financially, right? So you're trained through generations to be a prick to people, and you don't care. It's not even about money anymore. It's about power. And so, like, of course, 400 years ago, the bottom of the pyramid the pyramid structure was easy. You had poor people, which were predominantly black in the beginning, even slaves, and so it worked easy. The money trickled up, and then they lied to everybody, saying, "Well, it's a trickle down thing. Give me money, and then you'll be okay." You know what I mean? And that worked. And now that these guys are ultra billionaires over all of this time, have built all of this money up. Now they're eating it into the money of the middle class. Yeah. Which was predominantly white. And now, instead of the middle and the bottom class or middle of the bottom part of the pyramid working together to try to stop the top, like you see Kimmel got whatever, and then people was like, all right, fuck with this subscription. Exactly. They lost all this money. They was like, all right, they brought him back. Yeah. That quick, if we do anything together like that, we can change shit. So they know to put one side of us against each other. And that's why they're like, that's why we're having this. Anything that happens is a construct. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We are pawns to these people.
What's the end game
for them? I don't know. It's control. I don't know. Maybe they think we need to kill each other. Like, I think it's too many people. Do you see the traffic in Columbus now?
It's fucking crazy.
I kind of wouldn't care if 500,000 people just got out of the way.
Yeah. If 500,000 people. Wait, hold on. I feel like. So like 500,000 people.
There's 900,000 here.
Okay, that'd be a lot of people. That'd be like it's a lot of space that's freeing up.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Housing prices go down. You know what I mean.
The thing that is super crazy to me is that
and we're eating up like the air and the ozone layer and stuff like. I don't know why they want to get rid of us. But they want to get rid of us.
I'm learning a lot recently that a lot of these like upper people, all these like they're bipartisan players. They're not on any side. But they put us on different sides. And then I guess the thing that I'm trying to figure out is when what's the end goal after they get rid of people or get the amount of money, what do they do? Because the earth is dying. Yeah, essentially.
So and maybe it's they want to preserve it, so they want to get rid of.
So so this is what I was gonna say. What I was gonna say is that there's movements that have happened in our life, or not our lifetime, your lifetime. In civil rights movement and everything. It's and a lot of these things were planned or ordained. Sure. Like the whole Rosa Parks thing. I didn't know that she wasn't the only girl that that got traction with the whole bus thing. There was another girl that was actually before her, I kinda heard but that. She was pregnant, so they didn't want to muddy the waters or whatever. Yeah. And so it's but it's my thing is these people are doing things and moving things in a certain direction. They allowed the civil rights movement to happen because they saw some sort of utility. You know what I mean? Because if they weren't going to make money off of it, and they weren't going to, unless we were just that much more powerful and that we made it happen.
No, we were.
Yeah. Okay. So you don't think that was a them move too?
No. Any bubble has to burst. I don't think they have that much control. Okay. I think that was a bigger scale. Okay. That was a bigger scale of the Jimmy Kimmel boycott.
Yeah.
That got Jimmy Kimmel back. It was a revolution. You know what I mean? And it was very necessary. That was a time where black people were much stronger and more unified. There was black fathers in the home. So they were able to do that at that time, and we had white voices like freedom fighters. You have very freedom fighter energy. You know what I'm saying? We had guys like you that was like, no, my dude, he's a good guy, man.
Yeah, leave him alone, dude. leave Nef alone. I'm serious.
No, I think that was real, and I think that it needs to happen again.
Yeah.
But now it's got to be both of us.
And because I know that, like, you know, the World Trade Center, they send people in to fuck shit up. Like, you know, the insurrection definitely was like probably started off as not the insurrection, and then it turned into an insurrection probably because they moved in some people. And you know, I've heard that what is it called, saboteur agents or whatever. They send them in, and they're like, you know, they try to dress up like the crowd, and then they start breaking shit, trying to like rile everybody up. Then once everybody's like riled up, and then
I don't know if that,
do whatever.
You know, we don't know if that happened on January 6th, but that is definitely something that an operative can go do if they need to do that.
So it's like
just like when they was putting bricks out for Antifa to act.
That shit was so crazy to me, because it was like that one was like, especially here in Columbus, like they were just like all these bricks are just showing up everywhere, and I'm like, who's doing this?
In Chicago, I knew a dude had a rocket launcher though.
Whoa.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't one of these. It was one of these. But after you use it once like this, you can't use it like that again. You have to stand it and then put the thing in it, and it goes and it pops back out. And he didn't have ammunition for it.
Oh wow!
But I'm saying, like, where did he get that shit from? We was like 16.
So, you know, you've been on the earth for a couple hundred years. You know, how, like, you know, the Second Amendment is there to, you know, protect our arms. First Amendment to protect our voice. Do you think that there's going to be a time in the future that we're gonna have to fucking use the Second Amendment, like fully? Like, you think the government's gonna pull some shit? Because I mean, there's some sketchy stuff going on right now, depending on how, like, who's reading the news and whatnot. You know, National Guard is going here, going there, and everything. It's like, do you think that we're becoming fascists? Do you think that, in your opinion,
like a war between
our government,
like a gun war between civilians and government?
Yeah, I
could see it. I could see it. I could see that. I could see a war happening between black and white people.
You think so?
I could see that. You know, as soon as they kill the guy, the HBCUs are getting death threats. Like, these black college kids, they have shit to do with that. You know what I mean? Some guy gets hung at a pickleball court, and he's like, he wrote a suicide letter. Like,
it's so crazy.
His suicide letter should have said, like, I did this. It wasn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, he knew, and he's from Mississippi. He knew not to do that.
Yeah,
don't do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I actually just saw. Yeah, there's so much stuff, and it's crazy that you bring that up, because, you know, we don't hear about you know, lynchings as much anymore, and they're probably, obviously, they're got to be still happening. Like, there's probably
also the people at the top is another mechanism for them is the media.
Yeah,
that's why they buy news channels and stations and whatever broadcasting things, programming. You have to program the people.
So,
you know what I mean? So they don't want to show us shit.
This is what I was just going to bring up.
Can't trust anything on that thing anymore.
So you don't ever see any stuff about that. You'll every once in a while, like, you know, obviously we saw George Floyd. There's that, like, Ukrainian woman that recently just got stabbed on the bus or whatever it was, a train. And then you have, you know, things. Then you have, like, the bad things that are like Jussie Smollett. You know, were you telling the truth? I just saw a story recently. White kid calls his mom, says 4 Mexicans in a white van shot at him, and then his phone goes off or some shit like that. Whatever. He's missing or whatever. They find him later. There's like no evidence of any of this happening.
Right. Well, you know, kids will be kids, and Mexicans will be Mexicans. Also, stabbing people on the train is just what the fuck you do on the train. I live in New York.
Like, you know, he didn't have a phone out. It was like, he was bored. It's just, what does he do? No Candy Crush, Fruit Ninja. No, it is kind of crazy. I hate violence. I have never, I didn't play football.
And that's the tension I felt in the audience that night is because I realized that people aren't as comfortable with violence as I have been made to be.
Yeah.
And so I feel for people. I'm sorry about that.
No, I mean, you're good. I definitely find myself like watching, fights every once in a while on Twitter or some shit like that. Like 2 kids or 2 adults are getting into it because, some bullshit. But like, there is a little bit of me that like, there's a point that's like too far. I don't know. There's like, I used to get into fights with my brother and he used to be drug rattled and everything. And so like, he never like held back. He was always like going for, like, he tried to stab me one time.
No way.
Yeah. And so it was like, for me.
Were you on the train?
Huh?
Go ahead.
Yeah, we were running train. No, I'm just joking.
Harold, cut that out.
Yeah, cut that out, Harold. No, but yeah, there was always like a certain point in the fight where I always felt like, oh shit, like this isn't like fighting anymore. Like, you know what I mean? It was almost something else where it's like, especially that one time that like, he did have that knife out. It was like, bro, like this is like, in my mind, I would never believe that you could do something like that to me, especially your brother. And now that's like a thing that like you know what I mean? And I know that it was a lot of the drugs and stuff like that, but It's like, even then it's like, bro, that's like the level where I'm like, now we're playing with lives.
Next question.
You ever kick somebody in the head while they were on the ground?
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
No, I haven't even counted how many people I've seen die.
Have you? Okay, so you've seen a few.
Mm-hmm.
Wow,
yeah.
That's definitely got to like do something to you.
Yeah, but when it happens at such a young age, it just becomes part of your DNA.
Yeah, I had an uncle who passed from suicide, and I remember that I didn't quite understand. And when I went to his funeral, it was like the weirdest fucking thing because I think as a kid I might have been hearing people talk about the mysterious way, like because
How old were you?
4 or 5, 6.
My first funeral, I was 11 years old. My cousin Dietrich was a drug dealer, and I hadn't met my dad yet at that time. And Dietrich was sort of like an adult sort of hero to me, even though he was only 18, 19 years old. He used to come back to the hood and buy ice cream for every, that was a lot.
Being a nice guy, yeah.
Actually, he was him selling drugs was the first time I saw cash.
Oh wow!
You know what I'm saying? So he was a hero to me. He used to get his drugs from Detroit. Detroit guys were pretty brutal at the time, probably still. Put a gun in his mouth, blew the back of his head off. His mother wanted an open casket very much. I remember the families talking about it, fighting about whatever. And so I don't know how I ended up in the front row, but he started the embalming fluid started coming out on the back of the pillow where he was laying at.
Fuck.
And whoever was next to me grabbed me and didn't want me to see it or whatever. I had already saw it, because I had crazy peripheral vision back then. My eyes were always very far apart, and I saw everything.
I was gonna say you're kind of like a fish.
have a very aquatic space between, you believe in all this.
So do you swim?
No.
So that stereotype holds true.
Even reptilian niggas can't survive past 4 feet of water.
So really quick, we'll touch on. So Jimmy Kimmel was fired, re-brought back. Do you think he should have even been fired in the first place?
Of course not.
Yeah, it's like, what the hell are we doing?
That's wild.
And
that's scary as hell.
Yeah,
that threatens to change the landscape of everything America is supposed to be.
Yeah, especially right after Trump got like in office and he was like, we're gonna stop censorship of everything in the media and everything. And it's the very first thing he does as soon as someone, because I don't know. I think he just made fun of. So I think he was making a statement about the shooter, and he was claiming that he was MAGA or something like that, and everybody got all butthurt about it or whatever. Honestly, dude, I don't even know what the story on the shooter is, what the true story on the shooter. Like, regardless if let's just assume the guy that they are like, this is the guy. Assume he's the real guy. I don't actually know the real story on him. Like, I've heard people say his dad's a cop. His dad's not a cop. He's got a partner who's transgender, and so now he's a fucking Antifa liberal. It's like, what the fuck is happening?
They want to. They're never going to tell us the truth about what's really going on. I know it's got to be some bullshit, but you can kind of deduce what's actually happening by looking at what you see and trying to like dial. It's always follow some money back or follow some power back, right? Who knows? I really just don't know. I just know that a guy like that, a kid in college from Utah, does not just sit in front of the camera when he's being arraigned or whatever it was, the bail or whatever. He's just being cool. He hadn't talked. He hadn't said nothing. That's what I do. Mm-hmm. He's not doing that. Mm-hmm. He's crying. He's, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's very weird.
Mm-hmm. And then you saw the message. Have you seen the messages that they said that like he was sending between he and his partner?
No.
So
I don't believe. The trans shit. I don't believe.
Yeah. Either. See, it's we don't even know. And so regardless, there's messages between his partner and him, and he's using like fucking cop terms. Like, I'll be here 0300, and there's 2 vehicles here.
And that just fits the narrative that they want it to be. I mean, before they even knew if he was dead or not, people were like, this lady was like, this rests on the Democrats. Yeah, like, you don't know. You don't know who it is.
Yeah. And so that's like one of those things that's like really crazy to me. So, he gets fired over something that like, is, we can't really even prove, everyone's trying to prove stuff, and, a lot of the stuff is just fucking opinion or whatnot. And that's just not a good move. It's not a good move.
It's incumbent upon comics to push the line. Yeah. He's on a big scale or whatever. He's got to be careful, and he was.
Yeah.
He did. I think he did it the right way. He didn't do anything that was any side. I don't think it was whatever, but we got to push the line.
I was excited to not hear crying on the air for a while.
Oh, really?
Because he's the crying guy, right? He's the one that's like always like, you need to get the vaccine because.
Oh, really? I don't know.
I think Jimmy Kimmel's that one. I don't
watch him like that.
I always get him and Fallon mixed up. I think it's Jimmy Kimmel though. I think he's the one that is always crying like when some big event happens.
Let's get out of this politics shit. But I will say, it's wild for anybody to say, I agree with everything that this group of people says that we should be doing. Either side, you know what I'm saying? Like I never took the vaccine. I wouldn't. I don't.
Dude, get the fuck out. No, just
you know what I mean? But I also don't like telling women what to do with their bodies, right? I do like less government involvement or whatever. And Mr. Charlie would say shit like, this black he named names. I don't even know who these people were. They were women. He were saying they were incompetent. They didn't have the cognitive ability to do their jobs, and dog whistling because they were black women hired through the DEI situation or whatever. And partly you do hire black people even if they're not as qualified as their white or Asian or whatever counterparts. And that's that can be bad. I don't like. There's a lot of incompetent people if you're talking to customer service. You're just trying to get on a plane. It's always weird. Somebody very stupid, right? I'm not saying they're black or white. I'm just saying that I don't like people not doing their jobs well, right? But I would have wished him or anybody in that position would say, let's not do that, but let's give them this because they are inherently poor because of the financial ruin that they inherited all the way back to slavery. He's smart enough to be able to make those connections. So fine, don't give them jobs, but give them what are we giving them? Some sort of free college? Are we giving them income tax credit for not having kids too early?
As a black man, what would you think? Because not talking about your age, but you've been here for a while. What would you say? What would you say is the most helpful thing for the black community right now?
I do like free college for black people who can test into certain colleges.
Okay,
I don't think they should have to pay. Maybe even no taxes. Some of the corner stores in these very neighborhoods where it's a lot of very, very black are owned by Arabian people or whatever. There were Indians, who get tax breaks to come over here and start these businesses in our neighborhoods, and they live parasitically off of us, don't give anything back.
Yeah.
We don't have, my cousin used to live right here in Ontario. I used to come here from Chicago and watch him, and he would go to the corner store, and that's the only thing he ate. They didn't have cars.
Yeah.
They were eating Fritos and Debbie cakes.
Yeah.
24 hours a day.
Hot dogs
Yeah,
that are on rollers.
So there's things that can be put in place. I think that's one of them. I think therapy and maybe some financial education is good for that. Maybe like some real redirective rehabilitation for people who have gone to prison and come home. A lot of those guys have a lot of those guys have been forced to have entrepreneurial spirits. I'm one of those people.
Yeah.
I just was lucky enough to. I don't know.
And the thing that really sucks is a lot of those people like are like barred from shit for life.
Yeah.
For like a gram of weed or something like that back in like the fucking 80s or 90s or some shit like that. And it's like, and even though like stuff is like lifted in different areas, and even like Trump's talking about moving, I don't know if he's done it or not or whatever, but he's thinking about moving weed to weed to Schedule 3 or something like that.
Because it used to be Schedule
1.
Oh, really?
I think maybe I'm wrong. I don't remember. There was I think it's weed. I think he's like moving it. I think he was talking about moving it. But yeah, it's just like one of those things that and a lot of the stuff that you're talking about too is like, I feel like they're kind of just letting the country kind of just fall apart, and they like a lot of us don't have literacy and like, financials and whatnot.
They talk about the black father not being in the home. You could incentivize people to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Couples therapy, earned income tax credit for like a household that's together and stays together and stuff like that. So that's what I would have liked, because if
if you have black fathers in the home, then you get a stronger community. You get a stronger community, then you start realizing that they're fucking siphoning fucking money off of you.
Yeah, and so it's like sometimes I look at him like he was a lot of the preachers that I see become compromised for money, because of money.
Start seeing that watch.
Yeah.
Start shining a little bit.
Yeah. You see a guy start coming up as a pastor. He's got a community. He's got people behind him. He's saying some good stuff. People are changing their lives, and then he gets so much money, and then the money. Here we go back to the money, full circle. He's like, pastor need a new plane. You know what I'm saying?
The Lord wants me to go
or Elijah
to Paris.
Elijah Muhammad got all these babies by all these different women. You know what I'm saying? So we're human. You get to a certain point and you can be compromised, right? So like, I think maybe that could have been what happened with him too, because I think he's one. I look at him like a Kevin Samuels. You know who that is?
Yeah, is he? He's not around anymore.
Dead.
Yeah. As I say, he died recently, like not like a couple years ago.
Yeah, which is also a little interesting, because he was another person that was like, he used to talk bad to men who weren't worthy of being in relationships, and then he would talk to women about being unrealistic or unaccountable.
Yeah. He was a bald guy, right?
Right,
with glasses, maybe.
No, he had hair, but he had glasses, and he wore a suit a lot. And so
I do remember
his next move.
He was like the Black Charlie Kirk.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So his next move was to start a program where like he started teaching men how to be worthy of a committed relationship. Teach women how to choose a man better, because they have women of all colors seem to have bad pickers, and so like he could have mended the black family, but that is not in the interest of the oligarchs.
And did he get shot?
No, but some nurse was with him, and he had a Red Bull and maybe took a Viagra or something and ended up dead, right?
Bro.
Come on, man.
Imagine if they didn't get rid of the people who were like going to make change. Like, what would we look like right now?
Well, I think the biggest change would be that, can we agree there's aliens, man?
Dude. That was going to be my next I'm so glad you brought this up, because I was going to ask you, what do you think is fucking going on? Like with the UAP shit right now. And also, what do you think, like if aliens are real, like we're assuming that they're real, who are they? What the fuck are they?
All I know is my mother had two experiences with aliens when she was a teenager, and then when she was like maybe 20. And my mother is a sanctified Christian woman. She's cussed 2 times in my life, She don't lie,
It was
bro.
both times when she saw those damn aliens. She's like,
And her sisters will attest to it. It was, it was a fun conversation to make them have at Thanksgiving dinner growing up. Her mother was there for one of those times.
oh wow.
The car shut down, the lights, you know what I mean, and go away. No violent transmission. You know what I mean, like
And she got
combustion engine. No, but they just
Saw
stopped the car and sort of checked her out and bounced or something.
Interesting.
I don't know what that is, but I'm saying that I know that's one thing. Number two, if you go to Chile, I didn't go, but a close friend of mine did, and she says that by the water where the beach is, you can, if you stay there long, you'll end up seeing something go down into the water, come out, and the Chileans don't even care anymore. It's not a big deal to them. You know what I mean? They don't, because they know it's always been there. It's just not even a thing to them. And three, I don't see any violence coming from these guys, right? And then four, the way they their energy, the way they make whatever they're doing is not violent. It's not gas powered. They don't need coal. They don't need. It's not engines. You know what I mean? So if they were to give us the key to how they do that power shit, that they, how they power their stuff, right? We wouldn't need electric. We wouldn't need coal. We wouldn't need gas. We wouldn't need, and now you're threatening the businesses of trillionaires. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And these guys would, and also, if we didn't have to pay for this light, if you didn't have to pay for these lights and the gas in your car and the Columbia gas bill that you got, right, you probably wouldn't have to work as much.
Yeah.
It would probably solve poverty. It might even the playing field with all. We might just all be out here kicking it and be cool. You know what I mean? And I think the people in power don't want that. It threatens their lifestyle.
Word on the street, in the darker circles, they say that like these powers that be that are up at the top of this pyramid, like they're getting stuff from these people that they're working with. And that's like the thing. It's like,
hey man, you get $1 million, you're going to fuck all the chicks you wanted to fuck back in high school. You get $100 million, you gonna fuck all of the models on Victoria's Secret. You get $1 billion, you're gonna fuck the hole on the top of a dolphin's head. You get $1 trillion, you're gonna fuck the world. You know what I mean? And so of course they got all the shit that we have now. Like iPhones probably had them in the 90s, or these like whatever the fuck you think is out there. When you got too much money, you do too much shit.
Well, and then it's like all these things. It's like, like when something's coming out, it's like these things are coming out and they're like working fairly perfectly. You know what I mean? Like it's like there was like a few times where like Samsung, they put out that phone, the batteries were like exploding or something like that if you plugged it into a different fucking cord or whatever. But like for the most part, the things that we're getting are like they work very well. So it's like they're tested. They, you know what I mean? Like they know this stuff is like working. It's like, oh, hey, we just made a new phone that flips in the middle as a screen too.
Yeah, like
and then you're
over
like,
10 years of time, we went from pogo sticks to fucking FaceTime.
Yeah, and that's crazy. And so my thing is, it's like who are these aliens? And it's like, do they have a part to play in this fucking pyramid?
No, I feel like
you don't think
I feel
so?
like they're peaceful people. I don't think they could have gotten.
Do you think
far.
there's only one?
Oh, well, no. Why?
You think that there's like more than one like race of aliens?
Why wouldn't there be?
Yeah,
that's you can't have this. You can't have the arrogance to think that we're just the only species in the world, and then you can't have the arrogance to think that they're the only other ones. So there's like probably plenty of. We might be a part of that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Why the fuck are we all so different?
Do you think that like we're something different, or do you think that we're like offspring?
I think either you're offspring or I am.
Ooh, interesting. So I've heard lots of stuff because you always are hearing black people were here first.
Yeah, Hugh man.
Yeah.
Hugh. Color.
So I am. That's crazy. the word association, the hue. I love when you guys do that because I'm just like sometimes it's a stretch, and I was like I don't know, hue, man. I was like,
it's not an E. There's no E in there.
But no, so like black people were here first. Africa, that's supposed to be the home. Some people say it could be Asia, depending on like what scholars you're listening to. But regardless, probably somebody of some sort of melanated skin tone. And then so it's like now you have to ask the question: if there's aliens and they came over here, did they breed with the Africans that were here, or did they create them? Or like, and are these Africans? Like, you know what I mean? Are they the same type of people? Or I'm hearing now of these fucking Nordic aliens.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Tall and blonde and shit like that.
I don't really identify with African people. Like when I was boxing, and the African dudes come to the box, I would whoop about 4 of them motherfuckers straight. They're not that is the same athletic, and then maybe that's because slavery bred the strongest people with the strongest people or something, and then maybe fuck all of that descendant of alien shit, because if you look at Africa being in a hot climate, of course our skin had to adapt to that. If you go east, there's more sand, and so you see the eyes change, and with the Asian people, right? Because that helps. You know what I mean?
Is that what it is?
I mean, that makes sense to me.
Bro, I'm just like, we were just talking about that, and I'm like, wow. When I'm outside on a windy day, I'm kind of just like going like this. Yeah. Wow, that makes sense.
And then you keep going, and then you look we get over the coast or over the ocean, you see the Alaskan people. They look a little bit Asian, but a little less. They look a little more like Mexican people, which that was right there. We go a little more south, that's Mexican. And then Native American look a little bit like them, but a little more browner.
Yeah.
And then when you go up into the higher hemispheres, it's less melanin because it's less needed.
I've noticed that. So it's like the biggest thing for me is like the Russian people, like from like Serbia, and Native Americans. Those people. Like their facial structures, like the Inuit people, like from Alaska, and then like when you move over a little bit more into like Russia and everything, those people, like when you are looking at some of like the older like native people here, bro, it's crazy. But then like you just said, well, and also a lot of these were like Mexican natives that were like down farther south, like in like Mexico and whatnot, and like those people, a lot of those people still look somewhat, fucking Russian a little bit, it's kind of weird. And so, yeah, I don't know what the whole alien thing is about. And I wonder if there is more races. And then there's like, you hear stories about like the India, they have like the Vimanas or whatever, the Mahabhats. It's a story about like a fucking war that happened. It was like a technological war that like people were bombing and aliens were like shooting lasers and shit like that. And I mean,
if he keeps going any longer, cut his mic.
But yeah, it's like if that was happening then, and could that happen again? We have a war of the world situation going on, and are we fucked? Like, dude, like if we thought taxes were bad, dude.
That's why it's hard for me to dig into it so much, but I was very vicariously happy for you to start a family, even though I knew it was going to cost you a little bit of your comedy bandwidth.
Yeah,
but that's just a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah, I have a lot of people like shout out to Joey Lee. Joey, he's he's been around for 60, 70 years or something like that, and the one thing that he said was that you can always go back to comedy. You know what I mean? It's never gonna go away. Yeah. Things might be a little different, funny, or things might not be as funny as they used to be or whatever. But you'll figure that out. But like with the kid, and like especially like in like what we were just talking about, like having like a committed relationship. Like one of the things that's like really important, especially with having a child, is like making sure you're good with your significant other. You know what I mean? Just making sure that you're like spending the time to like not just take care of the kid, but like also spend time with them. You know what I mean? Like
I'm not having wild success. I'm not even having mid success with stand up, right? Like I'm growing exponentially and
have you ever?
I'm meeting the right people, and I see the trajectory and potentially unfolding in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
I'd give it all up
For a family,
for someone, the right family, for me anyway, having a woman that I really actually for real love, and as long as she can reciprocate it, you don't want that one-sided shit, but that's better than anything.
Yeah. Have you ever balanced comedy in a relationship?
Only one that I really had a whole lot of emotion for, and it was weird because like I was coming out of my depression. Like 1 month I came out of my depression head and shoulders, and I don't know if that's what made me attracted to this person. It probably has something to do with it. But it just at least allowed me to see that I had that in me to do.
Yeah, I don't see you.
Nah,
I
nobody.
don't even. I'm so, when you told me you had a kid, I was like, "What?" I was like, and I didn't think you were gay. I just like you just don't seem like the type of guy that is getting around or anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Nah, I'm a private person, and I don't just give myself to anybody, and I don't just I don't like I'm purposeful too. Like I'm not frivolous with myself,
and I appreciate that because trying to get you on here, I had to call fucking Trump and be like, "Hey, can you please let him go for a second? I just need him for one episode."
But no, that actually charged my comedy at the time because I was a new level of I'm happy all by I'm my kind of happy.
Mm-hmm.
All the time, but with a woman who I really care about, that made me like even that charged my comedy. But then when the shit hit the fan, oh my god!
So you recorded a special, didn't you, or what did you do?
I recorded a series, like an episodic.
Okay.
Like.
And that touches up on this, doesn't it?
Docu-series, sort of. No, what is it called? Like comedy dramedy maybe.
Ooh.
Yeah, it touches on it.
Yeah, because I think in the promo when you're like, because you kind of narrate in the beginning, it's like, imagine being a comedian, being a girl, getting her pregnant, and you're like, whoa. I was like, where the fuck have I been? I was like,
yeah. So I told you this shit is fast forward, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. But you know what? What it did for me was it showed me more of the voice in comedy that I'm trying to uncover. Like it's the mediator. You know what I mean? It's like imagine somebody programmed and raised in this bubble of like Christian conservativeness. You know what I mean? And then somebody over here from the hood who has this past. So on paper, he looks like somebody that these people deem
unworthy or whatever.
Yeah, deplorable. And it's almost like Lady and the Tramp. You know what I'm saying? It's like that sort of love story. I think is a great conduit to show people what we're missing out on in terms of unity. And not just love and all that, but it's like community, unity, neighborly respect.
Yeah,
for one another, despite what they're programming us to do. My love for you.
Yeah, dude.
Prime example.
Dude, I was gonna say, and it's kind of weird. I talk to people a lot about this because, like, people are always like, "Oh, I don't talk to my friends or whatever." I always use you as a prime example of someone who is like, I don't know how you feel, but I feel like we're pretty good friends.
For sure.
And so it's like, and even like in this situation where it's like, hey, I'm coming back. You want to do a podcast? And, even if it's not necessarily worth your time, you're like, I'll do it. But the thing is that like you and I don't really talk that often.
No.
We don't really talk that often. But I feel like, when we do talk, we talk.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I think that is like what's important, because you don't need to talk, talking to somebody every single day, if you're sharing everything, things are gonna get boring. It's like, and so now, you know, I don't talk to you for like a month or something like that, and then you get a call or whatever, and it's like, oh, this girl's pregnant or whatever. They're like, whoa, now it's like a movie. Now you're like watching a TV show, and you're like, bro, tell me what the hell's going on. So, yeah, I feel like you're out of the past 6 years that I've been doing comedy, and like I've been here in Columbus for like 10. I feel like you're definitely one of the better friends and the most consistent. Like I feel like you're consistent. Like you're not like
ironically
wishy-washy.
Ironically, some of the people that talk to each other or be around each other all the time aren't really that close.
Yeah, they fucking hate each other sometimes.
They sometimes they hate each other, and a lot of times they're surface level. So there is no core connection there. You know what I mean? And a part of what, for me and from my side, what cultivated our relationship is because we knew each other in stand-up. I lose my kid, and I don't have the energy anymore to be around anybody who's surface. I can pick it up right away, and I can't have those fake conversations.
Yeah. How you doing?
Yeah.
What's up? Oh my God.
How's work been doing?
Yeah, I'm saying, like I feel that right away, and I'm like, I can't. I can't do that. And you know, color line shit. Fuck that, bro. I see your spirit.
Yeah.
And you have a spirit that gives me energy, and me being so at that time defunct or like depleted of energy, being able to be fed.
Yeah.
From
a black lady once told me that she felt the Holy Spirit in me. I was like, she said, my dad is a Baptist preacher, and I can feel the Holy Spirit in you. And I was like, that's crazy.
If you'd have looked down,
she's trying to look for the Holy Spirit. She's trying to feel it.
That's what it was. If you'd have looked down, you'd have seen her pussy was hard.
Her croppiness, dude. Oh, dude, no. Chris, it has been a fucking pleasure, dude. Nef, dude, I love the outfit. I love you.
Love you too, bro.
It's been a pleasure, dude. Fucking, there's a lot of stuff going on right now, but I think that, you know, if we use comedy, we use community. I feel like, you know, I think we can get by a lot of this stuff. I think if we start listening to each other as opposed to like what somebody, because that's the biggest problem. It's like, you know, you have all these people who are telling you what the Bible says, who are telling you what this says, who are telling you what this says. And it's like, how about you read the article, read the research, read the book that you know, if you want to have an opinion on like what Trump said, listen to what he said. You know what I mean? Because then if you are just going off of what everybody, like right now we're just telephone gaming. It's like everyone's like, I feel this way about what this person said, and it's an interpretation. So now you're reacting to an interpretation of somebody else, you know what I mean, of their perception. And so, you know, I feel like if we just like talk to each other and, you know, keep throwing comedy shows, keep, you know, talking
keep
shit to
pushing
power.
That line, man. That's kind of why I hit a wall, and I was in a little bit of a rut for like a week, because it's like, oh, I realized, oh shit, we got to get deeper with this, man. And I don't know if I have the chops to find it, you know, but I kind of touched it. I touched it out the tip. I only did 12 minutes Saturday, but I was pretty good. I got my mojo back, and I was not doing material. I was ranting.
Oh shit!
About what I felt and what my worries were.
Do you do pretty well with the ranting?
I don't do it. I don't do full on ranting like that often.
You're not like Bill Burr in it all the time.
Oh no, I'm conversational. You know me. You know what I mean. And almost every time I say something. I did.
You still do sit down comedy?
If I got a longer set, I'll sit down. When I'm in New York, I don't sit down.
Probably don't have enough time.
Yeah, it's always 7 minutes anyway. But yeah, I just out of respect, you know. But the attic is kind of my club, so it's like kind of my living room or whatever.
Yeah, guys. Well, I think that's a pretty good place to end right there. Like, make sure you guys check out the Attic Comedy Club.
Yeah, come to the Attic. If you're a comic, do not come to the Attic unless you're booked. I'm about to charge.
Stay out of the fucking green room.
I'm about to charge
Jesus
triple,
Christ.
man.
I haven't been doing comedy in a while, but I can tell you that there's a lot of stuff that there's like, you know, basic etiquette stuff that's just like people are like, get out of the green room. You know, I don't know.
And the delusion is like so high.
Is it stronger than ever? Or is it
yes,
just as strong
because
as it?
I think what you'll find is that the city grew, the comedy boom grew, the Attic is, if not as good or better than the Funny Bone, and the comics have not grown as fast, and so now they're like sort of like entitled in a way, and just not knowing how much they are not deserving of the things that they want. You know what I'm saying? Or they think they should get.
Bro, like I always I'll end on this, but like I'm a traditional type of guy. Like I always view it as like, you work your way up. I'm like, doing my shit, try to get a spot at a club.
Yeah.
You start, hosting.
Yeah.
Then you hopefully find someone who thinks you're so good that they'll be like, hey, you want to like come with me and feature for me?
Yeah.
And then that's how it works.
Yeah.
And nowadays everyone just wants to blow up and then sell tickets.
If you have to ask, that gotta tell you something, man. You know what I'm saying? Repeatedly.
Yeah.
And then there's this thing where these people they get on just having their faces on a flyer or something makes them feel like.
Isn't that crazy? I had one time at a show. I had a show one time that we were doing, and the person's name had one letter spelled wrong. And they were flipping their shit. My name was spelled wrong, and I was like, it was like a rap. I was doing comedy for a rap show. I was like hosting a rap show, and so I didn't like care. I was like, no one's gonna see this. I was like, you can keep my name, but like they had to like actually like redo the flyer, and it like pissed everybody off because like they had to pay the person to make the flyer, and so now they had to go back and fucking, I don't know why they couldn't just. I mean, the way I do, I just do text on top of like a picture or some shit like that. I don't know what they were, if they were like painting it or whatever, but
the egos are growing faster than the talent, and it sucks for me to be a comic and like wanting to be comrades with these people, but as a manager, producer, whatever I can, I have to give the people who are paying quality stuff, and there's not that many guys, and then also how you act off stage is a big deal. How many people are you gonna get in a fight with? How many people are you gonna slander on the internet,
dude?
You know what I mean? Like,
oh man, yeah, it's definitely getting rough.
Yeah, so I was about to be paid. Everybody's gonna have to pay. That's gonna knock people out. That's gonna push some people away.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do, man. Like sometimes to be more inclusive, you have to be a little exclusive, because then people are like, oh shit, like, because not nobody's, because with the free thing, you got just comedians showing up. It's like, you got time, you got extra time. Like, is there any space for me?
Messaging the headliner.
Oh shit!
And then hitting me up like, I told him just
yikes.
I'm a comic, I'm good. I gotta ask. You kind of don't. If I know who you are when you're, what I mean. I've seen, if you make enough noise, everybody will find out. You know what I mean? Jesus, dude. Alrighty,
guys, that has been our episode for today. This was Chris Johnson, Nef. Make sure you guys check out his Instagram, Nef.
NEFFRIZZLE.
There it is.
Nef
and check out the Attic Comedy Club. Make sure you guys are checking out
Oak
his
Street.
shows. Yeah, make sure you check all that out. His dramedy is it on YouTube? Is it out?
Yeah, it is.
You can find it, right?
I forgot how to do it now. I don't care about it anymore.
All right, yeah. Well, if you find it, then cool. If you don't,
if you come to a show that I'm doing, I give stickers out. It's got a QR code,
and it takes you to it.
And it gives you all the episodes.
Oh, hell yeah, hell yeah. Well, all right. Well, you guys enjoy. Thanks for listening, and we will catch you guys next episode, guys.